Here's another reason why I think the Steelers are going to be very successful. They're copying Detroit in a sense, because if you look at what Detroit did to turn around their franchise and what the Steelers are doing now, it's very similar. Let's get into it. Before we do, trying to get to 30K, would appreciate it if you'd subscribe and like the video. So the Steelers went out and they didn't spend draft capital trying to get a quarterback who might not be the guy, because they just came off Kenny Pickett. They went out and got a guy who has Super Bowl experience and just fell on some hard times recently. Well, the Detroit Lions did the same thing with Jared Goff. Only difference is I think it was only one rough year for Goff and the Rams, and then Russell Wilson, of course, had two in Denver. Then you go to the running backs, where you got two extremely talented running backs on both teams, and you just drafted a very, very talented, athletic Polynesian right tackle. The Detroit Lions did the same thing, both coming out the West Coast, Oregon and Washington, Penei Sewell and Troy Fautanu. And then you look at the rest of the Steelers O-line, and on paper now, it's much more complete. Detroit does have a more established O-line though, but that just comes with experience. Taylor Decker, Penei Sewell, as I said, all those guys are really, really damn good as a unit. But Broderick Jones moving to left tackle after playing a fantastic season as a right tackle, when again, he's really a left tackle. I think that the Steelers are going to be more than good enough to play the smash mouth football they want to play. Now we look at the wide receiving rooms, and I think this is probably the least comparable aspect of both offenses, but I did watch Amon-Ra St. Brown since high school, and I think there's similarities between him and a guy like Roman Wilson. I think Amon-Ra St. Brown was better coming out of USC, and I'm not saying Roman Wilson is gonna get this $30 million a year contract, but again, I do see similarities, and I have high hopes for Roman Wilson as a rookie, because he's just gonna be thrown right into the mix. But George Pickens, Jahmyr Gibbs, there's tons of talent on both sides. So really, when we look at the Steelers offense this year, we know their defense is going to do their thing, but playing that smash mouth football, which has been really the Steelers' way since the old times, right? You want to run the football and run the football effectively, and then off that, your wide receivers are going to get open through play action. But for that to be all good and dandy, you need an offensive coordinator who knows what he's doing, and the Steelers just wasted a bunch of years with Randy Fichtner, and then it just got worse with Matt Canada. But now bringing in Arthur Smith, when we're talking about him as an OC, put away the head coaching years, because those don't count when we're just strictly talking about offensive coordinator years. He took the Titans to the AFC Championship game, and he had some brilliant years with them. Ben Johnson, of course, taking the Detroit Lions to the NFC Championship game last year, but the Chiefs and the 49ers are two very good teams, so those were tough matchups, but not the point. The point being is another similarity, like Arthur Smith is somebody who can help this offense put the pieces together, and I'm really excited for it. I think this is going to be a huge turning point for the Steelers, and a year where they really break away from that, all right, we're going to barely get to the playoffs, and then once we get to the playoffs, we're going to get our ass kicked in the first round. But let me know what you guys think about the Steelers and the comparison to the Detroit Lions. Do you see it, or are you just not, seeing the comparison at all? Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Again, appreciate all the people who subscribed. 30K coming soon. Y'all have a good one. That's it from me. Peace.